What's up, man? This is Fenix, the Final Fantasy Gamer, here with my brother WarZone Plays.
How's it going, Phoenix?
Oh, not much, man. And this is the official RPG podcast. Yay! Today we want to talk about something that I know a lot of people have been anticipating for a really long time, and that is dun 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 dun.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Uh, when will that game ever drop? So many previews at E3 and and now with the biggest troll in the world, Kingdom Hearts 2.8. Like,
That has to be the biggest troll ever.
yeah,
Oh, okay, it was 1, and then Chain of Memories, and all of a sudden 2, then, what is it, Recoded, then Drew Drop Distance, and there's
the
like
1.5 and 2.5 remixes.
what else? And all of a sudden 2.8. They're just really trolling us, aren't they?
Yeah, but we're not here to bash on the game because maybe I'm not so much, even though I am to an extent, but that's because I haven't had the pleasure of playing all the games. But WarZone Plays over here is a huge Kingdom Hearts fan.
That's facts, man.
As far as I'm concerned.
That's facts. Like, I have a long history of playing Kingdom Hearts over the years. I think when I first played Kingdom Hearts was the first game I played was Chain of Memories when it came out for the DS. Oh no, yeah, it was the Game Boy Advance game, but then I got the DS, so I was able to play it.
Yeah, I remember the first time I played a Kingdom Hearts game was the first one. I've actually only ever had the opportunity to play the first one, the second one, and then the same one, but I actually played it for the Game Boy, and I had to play it on an emulator on my phone. But we're not going to talk about that. We're actually here, like I said, to discuss Kingdom Hearts 3. So, with that being said, I know you made some points that you wanted to talk, some specific things you wanted to mention. So, what's the first on the list, buddy?
Okay, the first on the list is the plot for Kingdom Hearts 3.
You want to start that off?
I'll start off, man. Like, I've been seeing a lot of, like, all the videos that are on YouTube about the game, like, what's going to take place. Like, I know that on the second game, when you beat it, regardless of what difficulty you beat it on, there's a scene where there's Sora and Riku at the place where they always hang out under that tree.
Yeah.
Where they get the fruits.
Yeah, the star fruit, or the pawpaw fruit.
Yeah, and they're just hanging out, and then Kairi walks up, or runs up, or she was running like really fast, and then she holds a bottle of Mickey's symbol in it, like from the note, and that's like the biggest mystery I ever had was like what was in that note that had their eyes just wide open, like what did King Mickey say? And then that has been in my mind for years, like when they gonna drop the third game. Then next they dropped it was, I forgot what was the game they dropped right after 2. It was either it's actually 358/2 days, I believe. It was that one.
Yeah, for the DS. Yeah.
Yes. Then when they dropped that one, I was confused. Like there was Roxas and then there was Axel, but then there's a third character. Excuse me. I forgot her name. It was Xoiion. Zion.
Oh, Xeon.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, Xeon.
Yeah, and then I was always confused, like, who are they? And then when I played it, it looked like it was in the sequence between. It wasn't even in past 2 yet. It was like the crossover between 1 and Chain of Memories. It looks like it.
Yeah.
And then when I'll be honest, I haven't beaten it yet because there was a certain part that I didn't figure out. So and then I lost my DS, so I couldn't figure out the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Then the next game that was dropped was
Dream Drop Distance, right?
Yeah, it was. No, actually, no, it was Birth by Sleep. Actually,
Birth by Sleep. Yeah, you're right.
And then that was when my PSP was just I couldn't find it anywhere. I think someone stole it, and I think someone stole it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Bring back his PSP so he can finish that game, bro.
Facts, facts, man, facts. But I played it. I played Ventus story. The characters were Ventus, Terra, and Aqua.
Aqua, yeah.
And I played it. I played both Ventus and Terra, but I didn't finish Aqua because, like I said, that was the time someone stole it. I had to borrow my cousin's PSP, and he was stingy as hell, so he can never give it back.
Yeah, I feel it.
Like I would play it one day, and the next he would cry about it.
As far as the plot though, like what do you think is gonna, like, what do you find the plot for like the next game? Because I'll tell you this, I do this a lot, and I don't always mean to. I ruin games a lot for me. And it's because I'm always at work, so I don't always get the opportunity to sit down and legitimately play a game. So what I'll do is I'll listen, or while I'm working, or on my lunch break or whatever, I'll just watch playthroughs of people play these games or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I didn't get to finish the video. And again, please forgive me. I'm not 100% super knowledgeable. Excuse me. Just drank a Coca-Cola. That was completely irrelevant. Yep. Anyways, I'm not familiar 1,000% with Kingdom Hearts. But from what I did see is the final boss and the final scene for 2.8, which basically what partakes is Mickey and Aqua in a battle. If I'm not mistaken, so if I'm incorrect, please correct me in the comments. They fight the final boss, which is a bunch of Heartless. And basically afterwards, what were you saying it was called? The Keyblade of Darkness, correct?
The one that Mickey had, it was like an alternate version of the Keyblade. It was like Sora's was like a regular silver key, and then of course Mickey had like a golden key.
Yes, and basically they were going to seal
Kingdom Hearts,
the door to Kingdom Hearts, and you see Rico off in the distance. And as far as how much I saw, is a bunch of Heartless kept on appearing, and they attacked the group. And as far as I'm concerned, Aqua sacrificed herself, and she was still fighting, But again, that's about as much as I saw. Now, I've been watching other videos, and I believe that as far as the storyline goes, like actual storyline, like I believe this is it. Like, I believe they'll finally put an end to Xehanort.
They could finally lock up Kingdom Hearts, and then all the worlds will stop being connected. But I really am excited for the third game if it ever releases, because another thing we'll discuss about was the numerous pushbacks that has over the years.
I'm going to say something that you're not going to like. I watched a video the other day on the Gamers Joint. Y'all should definitely subscribe to this channel. Good stuff, man. Especially if you're definitely a Kingdom Hearts fan, definitely subscribe to the Gamers Joint.
And side note, I am subscribed to them. That's kind of how big a fan I am.
So if you're subscribed to him, so have you seen the video where he talks about they announced it's supposedly not dropping within like 3 years, so sometime in 2020.
Yes, I was utterly disappointed about that, because this game has been announced that they would be released in back when Dream Drop Distance was supposed to be dropped, and then 3 was supposed to be dropped, but then they pushed it back to like, I think right now 2017, right? That's what they said.
2020.
Yeah, or back before this announcement.
Yeah.
It would be dropped on 2017, and then when I saw the video, I'm like, we have to wait another 3 years for this game to be dropped.
And see, my only thing with that is that Kingdom Hearts is an incredible game series, but if they're gonna make us wait that long, 3 needs to be incredible. Like, it needs to be a very incredible game. You know what I mean?
They need to think outside of the box. They need to do everything possible, like, to make the worth wait. Like, I know this is off subject. Like, if you remember Jurassic Park, right? You ever watched the movie Jurassic Park?
Yeah, I remember Jurassic Park.
Okay. When they had the first movie, it came out, it was good. The second one was a little decent, but the third one was incredible. Then they didn't make the third the Jurassic World, until recently, around 2015, 2016, right? And then all those years of not making a movie, it came out incredible. Like, they were like, it was like one of the top grossing movies ever that came out.
What? I thought it was kind of lackluster. I didn't like it too much. I think to some
it was incredible. Like,
yeah. I mean, I know. Yeah, it definitely needed to captivate, because that movie had been pushed back for a while, as far as I'm concerned.
So, like I said, like, to touch on that, like, if they can make this game like incredible, like with the story, the characters,
the gameplay, everything,
the graphics, like if they make it top notch as they did as a trailer, then this was honestly worth the wait. I can say that. I mean, I can't say that now, but unless the game is a miracle and it releases like sometime soon, I really hope it does, because I'm a big fan of this series. I really hope it drops, but if it doesn't, I really hope it's worth the wait, because waiting like not like almost 6-7 years for a game doesn't really.
Yeah, man. Like I remember still, like, I think the first time they released a trailer that I saw was when they did the 1.5 remix. There's actually a a trailer for it, and it's like a little scene at the very very end, and it was supposedly like what's supposed to be the beginning scene to Kingdom Hearts 3. Supposedly, that's the idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as far as that goes, like I remember they were announcing it when I don't know how familiar you are with Final Fantasy, but Final Fantasy 15, the one that just came out for the PS4, which I still need to play.
Yep.
Before that, it was Final Fantasy Versus 13.
Yeah.
That was the title that it had. They had already announced that Kingdom Hearts was before that, and we already have Final Fantasy 15. You know, I remember when they announced Kingdom Hearts 3, and it was supposed to be for the PS3 system.
Yeah.
We're already the PS4 system. They've made us wait a long time. So if this game isn't anything but great, if it's mediocre, then it's gonna be really disappointing, man. You know, because even me, like I said, I'm not a heavy Kingdom Hearts fan, and that's not by choice. I love Kingdom Hearts. I'm a huge Square Enix, Squaresoft fan. You know what I mean? Hence Fenix, the Final Fantasy gamer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
even though my gaming channel is WarZone Plays, I've always had an interest in about RPGs and all that.
yeah, you know what I mean. It's just you know, like Kingdom Hearts. It has a special place in my heart. I still remember playing Kingdom Hearts 1. I never beat it, but it was always just an incredible game. You know what I mean?
With me though, like I said, it has a special place in my heart too. Like, well, first was Chain of Memories, and what's funny was when I first saw Chain of Memories, it was actually a commercial of the game coming out, and I was really interested in this. And believe it or not, it was the song that caught my eyes. Simple and Clean. When that played on the commercial, I was like, "What song is that?" And I liked it. And of course, the game was really amazing too. The story, the characters were amazing. Then a friend of mine, ironically name is Chris, who had Kingdom Hearts 1. And I'm like, "Where'd you get that?" And I'm like, he had it for years, and he let me borrow it. And that's when I got more into the story.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's when that was like the second game I played, but that was the first game I actually embraced the story even more. And that's when I got more into the history of the game. And when 2 came out, I was really, really excited for the third game until, like I said, the pushbacks happened. And ever since then, I've always been a fanatic about Kingdom Hearts. I might not look like it now, but I'm still a big fanatic of Kingdom Hearts.
Says a person that's not wearing a Kingdom Hearts snapback and the Kingdom Hearts necklace, but
who wears an ostrich shirt? But
it's a fucking chocobo. But let's not get into that. Side note, you know, I've actually owned Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5. Never opened them.
Really?
Yeah. I was at a point in time I owned a PS when I had a PS3, and I just never opened them.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. I played 1 and 2 for the PS2, which I own now, you know.
Yeah.
Because I love the PlayStation 2, you know, and I had to get Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, but anyways, the next note I believe that you had, you know, just to change the subject a bit, is worlds
that you may visit.
That you may visit, and characters that you want to see again, man. Look, before we get into that, there's just one thing I want to say. Add a Final Fantasy world. Like, and this is maybe just me being biased, man, you know what I mean? Because obviously excuse me. Obviously I'm very biased because I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan, man. Like y'all just have like no idea. Y'all don't comprehend. Like, Final Fantasy has a special place in my heart, but we'll do another episode talking about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But to me, it's always been crazy how, you know, Final Fantasy does play some kind of role in the game. You know, obviously like with having Cloud, Sephiroth,
Leon,
Leon, Squall,
Yuffie,
Yuffie,
Aerith,
even with like the stuff like the spells like Curaga, Fyra, you know,
and there's that's what amazing. They have some of their spells on Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, you know, even some of the weapons, the names, and etc. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, there's a lot of Final Fantasy in there, and so, but there is no Final Fantasy world, and it always bothers me. So, me personally, I think they gotta have a Kingdom Hearts. Oh, my bad. I meant a Final Fantasy world in a game. Like, it doesn't even necessarily have to be like a specific world. Like, it doesn't have to be like, for example, like Midgar from Final Fantasy 7 or Xanarkand for Final Fantasy 10 or Ivalice, you know, Dalmasca or anything like that from Final Fantasy 12. Although I would love that because Final Fantasy 12 is my favorite Final Fantasy game. But, you know, just give it a bigger role. Like, I think Final Fantasy, I mean, and it's created by Square Enix. Although I know a lot of it has to do because I know Disney it is the main focus and priority of it. You know what I mean?
They're pushing a lot more of their stuff. Like they have a lot of Disney-based worlds. Like they had Tarzan's world. They had Alice in Wonderland. They had Peter Pan.
But don't tell me like even though like I know you're not that big of a Final Fantasy fan, like you wouldn't like to see a Final Fantasy world?
I honestly would not like. I actually would love to see a Final Fantasy world. Like I know they had a lot of Final Fantasy references and weapons and even spells, but it tricks me out that they've never had a world like a whole world based off.
Yeah, even if it was like its own, like a whole new world. A whole new world. No, I'm kidding. You know what I mean? The Latin reference was fire, though. But, you know, even a whole different, like, complete, unique world, but that you could tell it's Final Fantasy based, you know what I mean? Maybe, like, the Final Fantasy is just, like, the whole universe within itself is a world. But it's cool because what I understood is they're adding Lightning from Final Fantasy 13 onto Kingdom Hearts 3, and I can't wait for that. But that's just me ranting on about Final Fantasy. As far as Disney worlds that I want to visit, I want to be able to visit like the worlds that they haven't tapped to. I mean, obviously, I want to go back to example for like Wonderland. I want them to emphasize on it. Please no Atlantica.
Atlantica
was very lackluster. Both of them.
No, the second game was very lackluster. I mean, you really.
I didn't really like the first one either.
The first one was all right. Like you at least get to have like bosses and fight in there. In the second game of Atlantica, you do is just push button action. That is it.
Music.
And the music was very, very annoying. I will say that the music in the second game was very annoying. I mean, like the very first song was annoying, but honestly, the one that gets me a lot, which is really exciting for me, which was cool, was when you fight Ursula. That was it.
Yeah,
even then, it was still a lackluster fight.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like,
even if you don't hit all of the buttons, you still win.
Yeah, but like personally, like I know like the ones that they have announced that I'm kind of excited for. They announced Tangled. That's cool. You know, I mean,
it's something different.
It's different. Big Hero 6. I'm definitely
that one. If they
fire,
they need to add that one. If they don't,
it's confirmed.
Oh, that's confirmed?
It's confirmed.
Okay, then by all means, I cannot wait for it then.
Oh, man. What's the name of the city? Isn't it like... Oh, San Francisco.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be incredible, you know what I mean? And, I mean, come on, dog. Who doesn't want to summon Baymax to help him fight the Heartless? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like that's cool. You know what I mean?
Now we're on the basis of the worlds. Like, we have, like... Of course, they're going to bring back, like, the original worlds. Like, they're going to bring, like... For instance, they're going to bring Aladdin. They may bring back...
Traverse Town.
Yeah, Traverse Town. They might bring back Hollow Bastion. Or what is it called? Radiant Garden. For the second game.
Yeah.
They might bring back... Like, just like all of the original worlds.
Beauty and the Beast.
Every original world they got in the Disney world. But they might end up adding some of the newer movies that came out. Like, they added...
They need to add some Pixar, man.
Add more Pixar
movies. Look, man, like, my opinion, like, I'm not... Like, especially because I understood, like, they bought some of the rights for Pixar, you know. And I actually saw this the other day on a video by the Gamers Joint. Buzz and Woody were actually supposed to be summons for Kingdom Hearts 2. And I thought that was kind of cool, you know what I mean? Like,
actually is pretty interesting. I mean, yeah, they're toys, but, I mean, come on. I mean, they can probably do something. I mean...
If you can summon Chicken Little and... Never mind. Let's not talk about Chicken Little.
He was a terrible summon, by the way.
Anyways,
the coolest one was Genie. He was the coolest one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Simba was pretty cool.
And then next.
Look, man, like me, like, and I think you all understand, you know, because you're a '90s baby like me. You know what I mean? Like we grew up watching so many Disney movies. Like, I would love to see an Emperor's New Groove world. Ooh, that would be so incredible.
That would be actually funny and interesting, actually.
Yeah, you know, like, it just be crazy. Or me personally, Atlantis. Atlantis was one of my favorite, like, Disney films growing up. I know it wasn't very popular, but I think it'd be cool. I don't know if you've seen this movie. This one's a little more older. Have you ever seen The Black Cauldron?
I think I did see it in the past. It may be fuzzy now, but I think I did watch it in the past.
It's a really old, really old Disney movie. But I think, I cannot remember the antagonist's name, but he kind of reminds me of Skeletor from He-Man.
Yeah.
He's kind of like him, like, you know, he's dark and brooding, he's evil, and it's different. You know, it's a very much, you know, darker tone, you know, to the Disney films. What other Disney films can't think off the top of my head? I mean, some of the Pixar ones would be cool. Oh, they need Zootopia. I will be
Zootopia?
mad. Zootopia. I gotta see Judy and Nick.
That one, they can be like your partner or something like that. They, instead of having just both Donald or Goofy, they can just have both of them as a partner or something like that.
But I kind of would like to see a Zootopia world, man. Like I think Zootopia does fit like in the world of Kingdom Hearts. You know what I mean? Like,
Now when it comes to like characters though, you are bringing up a lot of characters though. Like you would like to see, me personally, I would like to see, instead of like Leon and Squall be like, Leon and Cloud be like just people you fight alongside. Like they can actually be a part of your party instead of having just like Donner or Goofy. Like instead of certain worlds, like you can have like Leon as your partner or Cloud or Yuffie or someone. Like instead of having them just fight alongside with you, like actually have them along with you in your party. That's kind of why I want to have as party members. Like, you know, in RPGs, you have, like, your friends as party members, right?
Yeah.
Instead of having just Don or Goofy in one world, like, that are nothing but Final Fantasy, they need to have at least one, like, either Squall or someone powerful in the game. Like, they would have, like, say you go to the world and then you would say, okay, I want Leon or I want Cloud. And you go to your menu party, then you go switch out Donald because everyone doesn't use Donald anymore.
Yeah.
It's true. All he does is heal for no reason.
Yeah.
Then you click Donald, and then you switch out with him with Leon. Now, in the second and first game, he's just like a character out of nowhere. You fight him, and then of course later he fights with you, but not in your party. He just fights with you. That's it. It'd be really cool to have those party members as part of your group. But other than that, it'd be dope to have like some old characters return. Like I said, Riku would be coming back. And actually Kairi would put some effort in fight and not just stand there and be a damsel in distress. Like it'd be cool to see like Hercules come back, Tarzan, like just like all like the OG members of Disney come back, and of course the newer members like you say about Big Hero 6. That would be really cool to have a party member like that.
I think Brave would be all right.
Brave would be
cool. You know, like the whole. I actually watched it recently. I hadn't seen it. I think it'd be cool. Frozen would even be all right. You know what I mean?
I just think Frozen as a whole, like that one can be just like the world. Like you just can't have no party members because honestly, I think Elsa is the one that has the powers, right?
Yeah.
I think that one can be like your party member because of course she has powers of ice.
You know what world I personally would like to see? But that's because I personally like the Disney movie a lot. The Princess and the Frog, and I know it's kind of hard because like, again, and then we're actually gonna get into this in a little bit. New Orleans, you know, at that time, you know, it's kind of difficult because you know all the Kingdom Hearts worlds, they're all fantasy based, obviously, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the ones that seem that they're not so much fantasy based, like for example, like 101 Dalmatians that takes place, or even the Aristocats, you know, that obviously that take place like in the real world, if you will. No, you know, when you want to play a fantasy game, you don't want to be stuck in the real world. That's why I play a fantasy game to, you know, escape reality, if you will.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be cool, you know, with the Princess of the Frog, you know, the whole, you know, maybe having to turn your party members into frogs, you know, kind of like in the Lion King world, you know, where everybody turns into lions or whatever.
Or a certain animal.
Like you know what I mean? But I just think it'd be cool to fight Dr. Facilier, the Shadow Man. That would, as a boss, like, could you imagine, like, you know, like, songs like, friends from the other side, and instead of being like the demons, you know, because, you know, he's the evil voodoo man, it's he somehow gets out of there and befriends the Heartless, and like he's them. Yeah, that would, you know, that would be so wicked, you know what I mean?
That honestly would actually.
But now we got to talk about something since we're talking about worlds, because everybody knows this, Disney owns the rights to Lucasfilms.
Yeah.
Which includes Indiana Jones,
or then they have
Star Wars.
They have a lot,
and then of course they own some rights to Marvel. Here's my thing, man. Star Wars would be incredible because I think you remember when they added Pirates of the Caribbean.
That one, and I honestly was shocked because I was honestly shocked when I found out they had Pirates of the Caribbean because I looked at Disney. I mean they own it, but it's like it was not a Disney movie. It was just Pirates of the Caribbean. You would think you would add like Disney characters. I mean,
but see, that's what I'm going back to. Like, you know, like with New Orleans, you know, like in Parts of the Caribbean, technically, I mean, I know it's like in a fantasy world, but technically it takes place in at some point in time that could have been in the real world, but they made it work for Kingdom Hearts, the Pirates of the Caribbean world. I think they could do it with the New Orleans. With the Star Wars, that definitely makes sense. You know, maybe not so much Indiana Jones, although I think it'd be kind of cool. I mean, if they could find a way to incorporate it, it'd be interesting to say the least. You know what I mean? But Star Wars, I think, definitely has to be on there. I kind of want to do this classic Star Wars, but I'm kind of prone that because of the time and era that we are in, I don't think too many people would care. But like, I think anything maybe from like the Force Awakens forward, you know, like the Rogue One world, Kylo Ren, Rey, you know, all of them. I think that would make sense. But Marvel would be kind of hard, man, because like first of all, the Marvel universe is immense. It's fucking huge.
Yeah.
Second, and it'd just be hard because again, like, you know, if you go to, you know, the Pirate Caribbean worlds, you know, you're going to vast, crazy seas. You know, if you're going to, you know, the world of Tarzan, you're in the wild, you're in the jungle. You go to, you know,
Hercules,
you're in the Colosseum, you're in ancient Greece,
or in the underworld.
Yeah, or the underworld. You know what I mean? If you do a Marvel world,
what can you do? I mean,
you're in New York.
Yeah, or
you know, like, I mean, unless they did something like Guardians of the Galaxy, that'd be cool.
I wasn't really a fan of that, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, it does sound interesting for a Kingdom Hearts perspective. Like, they were like, they need one more person to fight.
Yeah, to make it work, I think that would be the only difficult thing. If they can make it work, I think it'd be incredible. But to me, it's just like, it's just so vast. Like let's be honest and be completely honest with me. We love all these Marvel characters. Like, you know, a lot. Well, we grew up with them too. You know what I mean? But do you see Sora, Goofy, and Donald and Mickey fighting alongside Deadpool?
No.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But can you see them fighting with maybe a lightsaber keyblade against Darth Vader or against Kylo? That, you know, you can kind of see that. You know what I mean? I just think, you know, I'd be for it if they can make it work. I'm for it. But if it's not there, I won't be hurt. You know what I mean? I mean,
they can all do what they can. I mean, I know certain movies they can't, or certain games, certain characters, certain worlds wouldn't work in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, you know, like, and I mean, again, I think they can make just about anything work, but I think that would be one of them that not. Like, the only world that I think that might fit Kingdom Hearts as far as Marvel goes, like, entirely, would probably be something like Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. You know, I could definitely see that. You know, the dimensions, you know, it'd be cool to fight. You know, maybe even like a Doctor Strange that's, you know, corrupted by the Heartless or something. It'd be a really intense boss battle, you know, to say the least.
Now that you brought up like the lightsaber Keyblade, I think the next subject I wanted to bring up was the Keyblades. Like, that was one I wanted to bring up, honestly. What's up? What you looking at?
Nothing. I was just looking at the notes. I think we should move on to number 5 since technically we did 4 already, which was supposed to be the characters that we're gonna see, but you know, we kind of covered it a lot. 5 was
the future prequels before 3.
Look, man, like, I really believe that because of 2.8, the next Kingdom Hearts, if
anything, like,
they're gonna need 2.99.99.
You know what would be the biggest troll ever?
What?
Like, they didn't do 3, they go straight to 4.
No, you know what would be the biggest troll?
What?
Number 3 is a movie.
Wow, that would be the biggest troll in history. Like,
that'd be funny.
Wow.
I always wanted a Kingdom Hearts movie personally.
They honestly, I feel the movie, if they ever do one, like,
that's a lot of money.
It's gonna be a lot. Because you're gonna have a lot of Disney references in there, and you gotta have like Disney back you up on that. Like, if they even agree to that, because like I said, they're gonna have a lot of their characters in there. Like, they're gonna have Donald and Goofy, like Mickey. They're gonna have like all their movies in one. Like,
yeah, you're basically
sitting.
Just naming just everybody and ever been on the Disney in their roster, basically. You know what I mean?
And then if you're gonna have them back you up, then by all means, and you're gonna have their support, I would say go for it. But that's gonna be a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah, but I guess kind of back on the subject. I think there's gonna be a lot more games because, like I said, if it really is to be released in 2020, because like what I understood from the video, the one prior to that, is that it's anywhere from now to within 3 years. So that doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna drop in 2020. It could be 2019. It could be 2018. It could be this year, and they're just trolling us. You know what I mean?
I really hope
but
not.
I mean, I doubt that since they just dropped 2.8. I really seriously doubt it. You know what I mean?
So if that were the case, what kind of prequels do you see coming out? Like, do you see like a prequel that's going back to where Ventus is there, or you're gonna go back to back when Sora was a kid, or what prequels do you see?
I see something like Kingdom Hearts 2.9. I really do. Like, I know it's a joke. Like, I tell everybody, oh, we're going to have Kingdom Hearts 2.99, or we're going to have Final Fantasy 16. We're going to have Final Fantasy 20 before Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out. But I really do think that they're going to add to it. You know what I mean? I think they're trying to have a really, really crazy build-up, before they get to the climatic events of Kingdom Hearts 3. And I don't blame them, but... I think there's gonna be some prequels, sequels, and obviously some spin-off titles. You know what I mean? I really do think so, especially since they have dropped, for example, Kingdom Hearts games on the,
on the phone,
on a Nintendo, yeah, on the phones, yeah, like the
mobile app,
the mobile app. I think they might. I'd even dare say they might even drop something on the Switch. I mean, they've dropped one on the DS, the Game Boy.
I really hope, honestly, the Switch, if they ever do, that could be really interesting. To be perfectly honest with you, I mean, even though the Switch isn't really, I didn't read too much about the Switch because I was kind of skeptical about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I never tried it myself because no one here I don't know owns it, so I don't really have a vague idea of how the Switch is going to be. Mm-hmm. If they do end up giving a game for the Switch, it may be like something just like a certain basic game. Like, it won't be anything crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I completely understand that. You know what I mean? But they have dropped one for the DS. They,
they dropped one for the
Wii.
Yeah, for the Wii.
Yeah, that was Dream Drop Distance, right? Yeah, it's for the Wii.
Well,
yeah.
No, they had Dream Distance was
it 1.5 or 2.5? But originally it was for the Wii, no?
I think they did one for the Wii. I'm not mistaken.
I know they had one Kingdom Hearts for the Wii, so I think me saying they might make another spinoff for the Switch isn't that big of a stretch.
Yeah. But I think, honestly, my prediction about the prequels before 3 again, I might end up, and I could be wrong. Like I said, I hope they prove me wrong. I really think they might end up pulling something more than a game. It may be like, there's something like where like it's not a game. It's like you just watch, like not a manga either, but it's like a series.
There is a manga.
No.
I've read the manga. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, they are. But like what I'm saying is, it might not be a game that they might pull next. Because they did 2.8.
If it were a movie, I'd be happy.
That would be really.
Oh, I would be really happy. I've always low key really wanted a Kingdom Hearts movie.
Yeah, that's like we could discuss that too if you have more time.
Or even a series. A series would be so cool. I mean, bro, like Kingdom Hearts within itself, like the lore is so rich. Like you could easily make like a Netflix series. Although I kind of feel Netflix would ruin it. But you know what I'm saying? Like they could make an animated series about it. I think it would be incredible. But yeah, I believe that they're gonna do a lot of things before, But I mean, I know they're working on other projects too. I know a big reason, and I actually didn't know this until before we started shooting this. A big reason why Kingdom Hearts 3 has been pushed so back is because they were focused a lot on Final Fantasy 15. But again, they wanted it. I've seen the gameplay, and I just can't wait to see it. Anyways. Point number 6, worlds we want to see or bring back. We've kind of touched on that too. Yeah. So I guess we can go to Keyblades. I know this is your department's favorite. The only thing I want to say is, again, for the different worlds, like the ones that I say I wanted to bring, I think me personally, I want to see Atlantis Keyblade. Have you ever seen Atlantis: The Lost Empire?
I think actually I did.
Like crystals are a big thing for them.
Yeah.
Within it's actually like the life source almost of Atlantis. Like their people need it to survive. Basically, that's how everything works. I think a crystal Keyblade would be crazy.
Yeah, that would really be really dope.
Or like we were saying earlier, if they do make a Star Wars world,
like a lightsaber Keyblade,
that would be fire.
That would be cool. There can be numerous outcomes to this game. Like when 1 came out, and I'll be honest with you, when 1 came out, when I played the game, and you've beaten the next world, which was the jungle, right, where Tarzan was at, and he gives you a Keyblade. I'm like, what? I got another Keyblade. I never knew there were more Keyblades. Yeah, that's what got me interested, and even believe it or not, it got me to where I bought my very first Keyblade. Yeah, and it's actually a life-size replica of the Kingdom Key, which I was really excited to own, and I still have to this day. And then when 2 came out, I was really excited to see what Keyblade comes next. And then I see all these different kinds of Keyblades, and you get the Valor form, and you get another Keyblade. which is right then and there. And it's really cool to see more Keyblades get introduced to the game, and they're based off the worlds that you've beaten or the worlds you've locked.
Beat certain
Beat
enemies,
certain,
and you
like Sephiroth, you get like the fair Keyblade.
Could you imagine a Final Fantasy Keyblade? Like I know, like for example, like the Fafnir. You know, for those who don't know, it's actually an enemy, a recurring enemy in Final Fantasy. But like, could you imagine something crazy like a Buster Blade, Keyblade, like that?
That would be pretty cool. Honestly.
You know what I'm saying? Or
like if Leon or freaking Cloud would give it to you.
Are you familiar with Final Fantasy a lot? Like enemies?
Not the enemies. I only know the characters.
Okay. Have you ever heard of Gilgamesh?
I think it's been a while.
Gilgamesh is basically like in Final Fantasy, like a enemy. Sometimes he's a boss, sometimes he's a hunt, whatever, or an ally. In a lot of games, he ends up being an ally. It's cool because what he does is he goes to supposedly like he's like he shifts through dimensions, and what he does a lot is he'll go to different Square Enix games like different Final Fantasy games or Dragon Quest games. He'll fight heroes and he'll take their weapons. Like he has Tidus's Brotherhood. He has Cloud's Buster Blade.
Really?
Yeah, you know, he's really cool. You should definitely look him up. You know, I think it'd be cool, you know, if you fought Gilgamesh and you get like a specific thank you. Needed something to drink. It was getting a little bit caught in mouth. You know, he gets a very, you know, if you defeat Gilgamesh and you get a really interesting, what's it called, a Keyblade. You know what I mean? But I mean, I think different worlds could, you know, they could add to so many Keyblades, like,
and there's so many secrets too. Like, there's a traditional Keyblade that you get like the very first time you play. And for all I know, there could be a secret Keyblade that you never even knew about. Like, you can get Terra's Keyblade, you can get Aqua's, you can get Ventus' Keyblade, for all we know.
Question, because like I said, you're the Kingdom Hearts expert here. Is there anything like a, you know, because you told me there was a Keyblade of Darkness, right?
Yes, there was the original Kingdom Key, which was what Sora wields, the very first beginning of the game. Then, and the end of the Kingdom Hearts 1 game, my bad. You see the scene where they're closing the door, and you see Mickey holding a Keyblade, and which is like the total replica of Sora's, but in a gold color. That one is the key of darkness.
With that being said, like, is there like a specific Keyblade that like represents the Heartless?
I'm not 100% sure yet. There's possibly one out there that represents the Heartless. Like, there was one that Riku made in the first game that was based off of the 7 princesses. It was there was no confirmed name for it. Like, he just calls it the Keyblade. But that Keyblade was made off of the 7 princesses of light, which was like all the princesses from the world, including Kairi. That was one Keyblade that was based off of the Heartless, but then again, that was based off of the 7 princesses of light.
But there's not, as far as you're concerned, there's not like a specific Keyblade that represents like the actual Heartless themselves.
Not that I know
or
of.
the nobodies, or
not that I know of.
Cause I think that'd be cool.
That would be nice to have, like, say, like, there's a certain Heartless that drops it.
Like, basically like a dark evil Keyblade, basically.
Yeah, like in the second game, in order there's 2 rare shields or 2 rare wands for both Goofy and Donald that certain Heartlesses can drop if you defeat them, and if you have enough luck on your side, they'll drop it. I would say, like, there's a Heartless in the second game that has a big old shield for a weapon. And if you kill like a certain number of them, or you kill the right one, it drops the shield that they wield, and of course Goofy can have it.
Oh wow!
And there's a wand that there's an enemy that the Heartless has that if you kill that one numerous times or luck on your side, you get their wand. It's really cool. If I can see that in the third game, like for a Keyblade, not like a weapon for them, but Keyblade for Sora, that can be really cool.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like a Shadow Keyblade, or like the big old darkness that you fight from the first game, that can be a Keyblade, or like anything like that.
Yeah, you know, like again, you know, going back to different worlds, like something like a Zootopia Keyblade would be interesting. I don't know what it'd look like.
I bet you it's
a police baton.
Oh.
It's a baton. It's a baton Keyblade, you know, because they're all cops and shit. What was I gonna say?
Or like I said, for Atlantis, if they ever bring down one, the crystal Keyblade.
Or even something silly like the
Or
Black Cauldron. There was a sword. It was a big deal. It's kind of or even like the Sword in the Stone. Do you remember that old Disney movie?
Yeah.
Like something like that. Like that's a particular sword. Like in a Keyblade form would be kind of cool.
Or there's one actually when like for Big Hero 6, it can be like the armor the what does he wear? The armor that he wears. What's his name?
Baymax.
Yeah, Baymax.
That red armor.
That can be like a Keyblade right there if they can work with it.
Yeah, it could be a Keyblade made out of that material.
That can be.
That'd be kind of that'd be really interesting.
And there'd be like maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if Sephiroth ever comes back in Kingdom Hearts 3. I would not be surprised.
Him and Cloud are still fighting, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna come back.
Yeah, and if you beat him, you get a Keyblade. I wouldn't be surprised.
His Masamune has a Keyblade. Can you imagine wielding that shit? You'd have such crazy range with that shit.
Yeah, it'd be bigger than the other Keyblades.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, man, I think we should wrap it up. We've actually been here, almost 40 minutes, man.
That's
crazy.
I think the last thing we can cover is actually pretty short.
The expectations
for the game.
Well, you start ahead first, sir.
My expectations, since that it's been pushed back numerous times in the past, it's been building up the hype. I really expect it to be a really great game. Like with a lot of new characters, new weapons, new spells, new worlds, a lot of game mechanics that's going to happen, new bosses. Like I really cannot wait for this game. So Square Enix, if you're ever going to listen to this podcast, I doubt y'all will, but please make this game worth the wait. Like I cannot stress that enough because we've been told this game will be released 2 to 3 years earlier in the past, but now we're realizing it'll be dropped in 2020 or 2019. So I really hope it's worth the wait. Like with all this development, or all these worlds, or all these new things that Disney's coming up with, I expect it to be a really great game. I really hope that they push it to where it can be Game of the Year.
I feel you. I definitely, to finish this off, my expectations are very high. It usually is, I think Square Enix has made some of the best games of all time. Again, I'm biased, but definitely, maybe if not the best games of all time, we could definitely argue the best RPG games of all time.
That's
you know
facts.
what I mean?
Facts.
And yeah, for as long as we've been waiting for the trailers, for the lore, and as much as we have been waiting, for for Kingdom Hearts 3, I think it cannot be anything less than grand. You know what I mean? Like it has to be an incredible game.
Yeah.
There's just so much you can add, and y'all have had the time. Y'all have taken y'all's time on it, so it has to be nothing less than great, man. And I know and maybe the fans are just asking for too much, but you've just had them waiting for have had us waiting for so long that if it's not anything less than great, they're gonna hate it. If the game's mediocre, people they're not gonna like it. You know what I mean? My expectations are very high, regardless if I'm gonna buy it, because it's Square Enix and it's Kingdom Hearts. And Kingdom Hearts 3, when it does come out, I don't think they'll disappoint. I don't think they've ever disappointed.
I mean, when the first one came out, it was phenomenal. Like just exploring a new world was already incredible, and then just the characters you bond with, you met your favorite characters from the Disney movies and all that. And then when the second game came out, there was a new places to go to, new weapons to discover. So I really hope with this new game that's coming out with brand new worlds and possibly, and you're hoping on a Phoenix, a Final Fantasy world, that would be really incredible. And with all these new movies that they come out with, and new weapons and new everything, I really hope this game lives up to the expectation.
Yeah, man, definitely. Well, with that being said, we're going to have to let y'all go. Thank y'all so much, for tuning in. I know we've been talking for a really long time. Bear with us. This is our first time shooting the podcast. If y'all enjoy it, please like and subscribe to the channel. Myself, Fenix and Final Fantasy Gamer, and also my homeboy, CJ at WarZone Plays. You know what I mean? We'll be shooting a lot more of these podcasts. We'll be starting to have more people. Me personally, I want to give a shout out, again to WarZone. for, supporting me, and being able to do this podcast. We've been trying to do it for a while. It just hasn't been able to be done. Thank God we could finally get out of the way. I also want to give a shout out to my boys, Hot and Ready, and Zombie Xavier. You know what I mean? They've been very supportive, of this.
If you don't mind, bro, I can do a shout out if I can.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I want to shout out BlueCenter.exe for pushing me to do this. I know he's my homeboy from my hometown. He's another YouTuber. His YouTube name is BlueCenter.exe. He's another YouTube gamer that's pushing his thing too. But right now, he's going through a lot of live stuff right now. So he hasn't been doing a lot of videos gaming wise. But once we get this going, he's going to be able to help me a lot more like Gmod games for PC and Steam and all that. I'll do a lot more games from there. But I'll be able to help out with Fenix's channel and all that. So I really hope that we can get this channel going.
Yeah, man, definitely. With that being said, you want to sign out, bro?
You do the honors, bro. It's your channel.
All right. Well, this has been, the RPG podcast, with WarZone Plays and yours truly, Fenix, a Final Fantasy gamer. We'll see y'all the next episode of podcast, and let's play. Game on. Let's get it.
You have a good night.